Hi friends, welcome to week 17 of school and week, I think, 7 of distance learning. It's kind of crazy already. Um, this is a peek at our week going forward. Some of the stuff is repetitive like always. We always do a study session form and we always do a tutorial, so Tuesdays and Wednesdays are always kind of the same. Friday we're going to work on Genius Hour because we are submitting those or doing our presentation portion of those the following week in week 18. Monday and Thursday, we are going to work on an assignment called A Degree in What? So you're going to be doing a little bit of research and looking at what degree would you potentially need to obtain a future career that you have interest in. Now, I know some of you are interested in going to tech schools or you're unsure about college still, and that's fine. I just want you to choose a career that requires a degree. So even if it's not something you for sure want to go into for the sake of the assignment, choose something that you're like, oh, I kind of have an interest in that. If I decide to go to college, maybe I'd go that route, okay? So here's kind of the direction sheet, and it walks you through step by step in which websites you're going to need, and they are linked here for you as well, okay? And then you have a research organizer that you're going to have open too. So you're probably going to want 2 Schoology tabs open so you can have this open. Notice we're just doing the first 2 pages of this. So in big red letters, I have stop here. We're not doing the budget project yet. That will come second semester, so you can just ignore that right now and just focus on the first 2 pages. And you can pop this out in its own window if it's too tiny and you want to zoom in on it, okay? So the other thing you're going to want to open is your research organizer, which is basically just a bunch of boxes or blank boxes that you're going to fill in with your information. Now, I put a little bit of a twist on it. So instead of just filling out and typing information, you're going to use pictures instead. So that's why the boxes are so big, because you're going to use pictures and not just words. If you want to use a few words, that's fine, but I want you to try to use mainly pictures. So you're going to start by typing the career of your interest and then choosing a school and a major of interest. And you can just Google the school's website and look up their different majors that they have to offer if you go that route, okay? So you'll notice there's a bunch of different boxes here. Credits needed, other possible costs. Then you're going to look up a graduate degree that correlates with your degree that you chose to look up, looking at how much is each credit for the graduate degree. Then you're going to look at the actual career options. So career option number 1, what's the annual salary? Okay, so the career options are based on the degree that you got, because almost always there are many different careers associated with different degrees, okay? And then you're going to look at how much do you take home, and the direction sheet will help you with a calculator to figure that out, okay? So then the next step is looking at a second career option with that same degree. Do I have a typo here? Oh, options. The annual salary, and then how much you take home. Then you're going to look specifically at where could I be employed, okay, for career number 1 that I chose to look at. So 2 different employers for career number 1 and 2 different employers for career number 2. Now, I know that seems a little bit confusing, and this is why in Schoology I give you an example. So I basically did this whole assignment based on my own experiences to kind of show you what it might look like when you're done. Now, obviously, most of you are probably not going to be choosing teaching, which is fine. But this is just to show you kind of what your assignment will look like when you choose one. So career of interest, remember I'm using pictures as much as I can. So I chose a little picture of a teacher, and I just use Google Images for most of these. Major of interest was social studies education, so I found pictures that look there. And I realized I forgot to put my school in there, okay? Classes that I'm going to need to take to get a social studies degree, I can look this up in any major area. Classroom management, I'm going to have to take history classes, geography classes, how to teach classes, okay? Tuition costs, I found kind of like a chart of sorts that looks at tuition costs of education degrees. Associate, master's, graduate level programs, so I found all 3. I know they're kind of tiny pictures. This is a master's picture. This is a master's picture at Hamlin that I input there. Those are more classes that I'll need to take. Number of credits needed, approximately 33. So I literally just typed in numbers into Google and clicked images, and they give you a bunch of different ones. Other possible text or costs would be like textbooks, living on campus, that will cost some money. I looked up how much it would cost to get a master's in teaching or a master's in education, and it was about $275 per credit. Okay. Then I looked at career options. So career option number 1 would be being a teacher. Okay. That's kind of the goal. I looked up salaries and approximate take-home pay. And if you want to do your take-home like this much twice a month, that's totally fine. Okay. Another option will be being a principal. Okay. At some point, you have to have an education degree typically to be an administrator. So then I looked up salaries and whatnot for that as well. And then I just looked at different employment locations. So places I could be employed with my degree. So as a teacher, I could be employed at the Princeton Public Schools. I could also be employed at Anoka Ramsey Community College and various things that way too. Then as a principal, I just chose 2 different school districts that I could be employed at potentially. And it's just hypothetical, but it's just a way to kind of look at like what employment options are there around me based on what I'm interested in. So this is kind of what yours will look like when you're done. I know it's a little bit trickier to do the picture thing, but use this guide to help you because this really walks you through step by step how to complete your organizer. So that is what we're going to do on Monday and Thursday of this week. And I will see you at our Google Meet on Monday.